Welcome to Window Shop with Car and Driver. This is the show where we shop for cars online based on a challenge. And this week's challenge is to find the most highly depreciated car. So we're looking for cars under 10 grand that once had original MSRPs, ridiculous original MSRPs. We'll adjust those for inflation, and we'll see who the winners are. Jonathan Ramsey joins us today, and Basim Wasif, it's your first time on the show. Basim's a freelancer here in California.
Hello.
Basim. And Roberto Baldwin is back again this week, and Casey Colwell is back. So we'll get it started with Jonathan. Jonathan, you want to show us what you found?
All right. Well, if we were just going for depreciation, I would have chosen this guy, an 84 Silver Spur. Guy wants $5,500 for it, but he's got no title. And there's a few other issues, but I figured, why spend the money? Why save the money on that if you got to spend another 10 grand getting it ready? So I went for this one.
Wow.
It's slightly over budget, but 86 Silver Spur.
What's slightly over budget?
It is, but I built up a lot of credit with some $500 cars in the episodes before. So I figured I would use it here. It's what is it? It was $129,000, $109,000.
Is that right? That's what that cost in 1984?
Yeah, it was 86. Sorry, it's 114,500.
And what is that? What is that in today's dollars?
$269,166.
Oh, there's the GM radio. It's got the GM radio in it.
Elko Power.
And 4-speed has the three-speed GM transmission. It 6 3/4 liter. Rolls-Royce didn't give horsepower numbers.
No, it was just adequate, right?
Yeah, but adequate was like 200 tops.
Yeah, but then like 400 pound-feet of torque, probably, right?
Well, yeah, it only revved to like 4,000 RPM.
Yeah, it gets like 330 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. But I mean, it's so clean. You could drive this everywhere and look great.
Is it a long wheelbase one? Is that what a Silver Spur was?
No, they made a long wheelbase Silver Spur as well, and one with the divider that came from the factory. But this is the regular wheelbase.
Wow, it looks like a huge back seat.
How
much? So you're avoiding the price. You haven't told.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't actually said the price yet.
It's $13,994.
So you're four grand over. That's not unforgivable, I guess.
But I mean, come on, like I said, why spend the money on a $5,000 car when you could save a little bit more and get this?
And the other one didn't even have a title.
Exactly, not that one. This one. Oh, yeah, had no title. You've got to fight at the DMV. You've got that. So at the time, Rolls-Royce in the brochure, it said that the Wilton wool came from, I quote, exceptionally hardy sheep. and the guy has done this to the carpet. So you don't want to get involved in that.
You're not that hardy.
Pretty disgusting. That might be a crime scene.
You don't know. With no title? What's that, Roberto?
I raised sheep. Like, that's something I did in high school. Long story.
Okay. Wait a second.
Thank you.
An exceptionally hardy sheep.
Was this, yeah. Yeah. So, Roberto, what makes a hardy sheep?
I don't know.
It's not a scale of
I don't think that's a thing.
It's not a scale on 4-H. There's not like.
No. I was an FFA. 4-H is like the younger kids.
Yeah, it's like weakling Rolls-Royce carpet.
Yeah.
As long as the sheep are lonely, it's all good.
Do you think they make it very like gang-like, and the sheep that are going to be shorn for the roller wool are way cooler than all the other ones, and
like they're smoking cigarettes behind the barn and stuff?
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
That's what I want. I want that. I want to make that children's book now.
That's lovely.
Ganger sheep?
You're over budget, Jonathan, but it's a lovely car. Probably the best running of any of the ones that we're probably going to see today.
Well, I think I think it's worth going into the penalty box to look this.
So so new? This was how much?
New was $114,500.
And what is the BLS Bureau of Labor Statistics and Calculator?
270 grand.
270? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this represents a 94.8% depreciation.
But you are over budget, so there's got to be a penalty there, right?
Yeah. But 270K is going to be hard to beat, but we'll subtract the 14 from that and see what happens. All right. Thanks, Jonathan.
No, you need to subtract the 4K from today's dollars from the original price.
That's too much math, you see.
Math.
All right, Basim, you are up. And you mentioned when we started talking about this that you actually want to buy one of these cars, right? Or a Rolls-Royce.
I am that fool. I am that fool. I have been in the market for the car I'm about to reveal for longer than I care to admit. It was imprinted on me at an early age. When I was in college, I had a... Jonathan's laughing uncontrollably. In college, I had a weekend job valet parking for a company that happened to handle a lot of Hollywood parties because I went to UCLA and it was near Bel Air, Beverly Hills. One car I drove was Ridley Scott's Bentley Turbo R.
Ooh.
And from the moment I sat my butt in that fine leather seat and buried my shoes in that Wilton carpet, I was just smitten. Huge 2.5-ton car. Unbelievable torque, effortless, that whole like waftability thing. Like Rolls has nothing on Bentley. Bentley really kind of invented the modern gentleman's express because this was a game changer at the time. In the late 80s, when it appeared in the US, 89, just like the Silver Spur, adequate performance, but it had a big turbo on it. Of course, it had some lag, but when it got kicking, estimates around 300 horsepower, but closer to 500 pound-feet of torque. So only a 3-speed GM Hydromatic connecting the engine to the drive shaft. But
wait. All this sounds good. Show me the car.
Yeah. Let me see it.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Let's see the car, Basim, but I have a question as you're sharing your screen. Did you take Ridley Scott's Bentley Turbo R out for a joyride?
Yeah.
I would love to say that I did a little Ferris Bueller's action, but I was respectful. I respected the machine. Okay, so...
What year was this? What year was this?
Well, this was about 91.
Oh,
so
okay.
the car was brand new then.
All right, let's see the car. Let's see what you brought us.
Okay, so here we go. So this original MSRP started at $149,500. This is a negotiable $6,900. Now it does have high miles, 180,000 miles. And it does, by the seller's admission, need a hydraulic service. But the fact that it's actually been driven a lot means that this is really a car that you would want to own because a lot of the problems have been weeded out. There's a lot of 20, 30, 40,000 mile Turbo Rs out there that will probably give you grief because everything needs to be gone through and refreshed and redone. And it is not cheap. As you know, probably this suspension system was licensed from Citroën. Very complex circuits with the brake system together and the suspension, mineral oil, prone to leaks, prone to fuel pump problems. But when they get running, they are allegedly bulletproof. That's what people say. A lot of people say, keep it running, keep it driving. And, this interior is pretty intact, more than we can say for the Silver Spur or Silver Spirit. The wood is intact, even got the little nifty Union Jack you saw there. Surprisingly clean car for the money.
All right, let's see the photos, Basim. Scroll through the photos.
So here we go.
It looks pretty clean. Where is it?
It's in New York. And it is shockingly clean because a lot of these cars get beat to death.
The one Jonathan showed with that horrible seat.
And then if you shop in the UK for fun, you see a lot of corrosion underneath. You can have issues with rocker panels and suspension mount points and this and that. But this one looks pretty solid.
This is before they put airbags in it too. So
the steering wheel. The steering wheel is nice.
Yeah, this is the only year they had no airbags, so it's actually more elegant steering wheel.
Current Driver tested one of these. We got 7.7 to 60, and it weighed like 5,100 pounds.
Wow. I thought it'd be quicker than 7.7, to be honest. I think the later ones were quicker.
The later ones are like low sixes, but yeah, the early ones are 7.7.
Yeah, I just love the quad round headlights and the color matched grille. Some of these are made with stainless grills that kind of pop a little bit, but I like this more monotone look.
So how much are you willing to spend on one? You said you were thinking about buying one. What would you expect to spend?
The threshold to get something that's not going to be a money pit realistically is probably closer to 12 or 15. This obviously will cost money up front, but if you just want a beater, I mean, this would do the job.
A beater
for negotiable $6,900
to do the job.
And the job.
From UCLA.
Well, there's nothing more expensive than a cheap Bentley or Rolls Royce, right?
If you're gonna go big, right?
Stopping for mineral oil.
Exactly.
Keep it in. There's a compartment in the trunk for the extra, I swear.
So Basim, what was your price adjusted for inflation?
So inflation, if you were to pay $20, $313,115.
Oh my God, devastating. That's way more than I could. That's way more than mine.
Totally. And true story, I test drove a Turbo R here in Santa Monica and got scared away because I did a cold start on it. A puff of white smoke came out the back. I saw it later appear on Tyler Hoovie's garage. So that was the car that he bought, that peacock blue one that has been at the shop for like a year now.
Yeah, Basim, they still haven't gotten it running, I don't think.
I know. I'm like, whew, dodged a bullet.
All right, thanks, Basim. If you want to unshare, we'll kick it over to Roberto.
Okay, so originally I sort of went down the same road that you guys did, where I was looking for a car that lost a lot of its value, but was still drivable. And then I decided not to do that, as is my way. Instead,
beautiful
97 S600 for $500. This is a V12 Mercedes. It is, they don't have the key. It's a park only. I just don't think these people understand how to work on this car, but let's take a look at the pictures. I don't think anyone.
Yes,
so it looks like it's missing a window.
Missing a window, and whatever this is.
Oh, wow.
That's that's some horrible sun rot, but
it's like missing a car. Like if you don't have the key, it's like $2,000 right there.
That's fine. We'll get this thing running, no problem.
No, it's a V1 on this side. So.
Wait, what's going on with the angle of that exhaust?
It's aftermarket.
Somebody Laguna double hitter, Laguna exhaust double hitter.
You don't say, Tone.
Look at the inner ones are clean and the outer ones are dirty.
It's aftermarket.
Look at that.
What flag is that?
Rear-ended. It hasn't been rear-ended.
I don't know what the flag, because it could have faded into this aquamarine blue on white thing.
I think I'm gonna go with Latvia.
It's got a VIN tag.
It does. It hasn't been rear-ended.
Hasn't been rear-ended. Everything looked clean here.
I think this will all buff out. This is fine.
This is all fine. The suspension is clearly,
Yeah.
Are you sure it's really a V12? Because that badge is like 6 inches higher than it should be.
Let's see the engine.
It doesn't show that they don't show the engine. So I have to reach out to them and say, hey, let me see the engine. So
they don't show the engine?
They don't show the engine. So who I did reach out to is my friend who is a Mercedes-Benz master mechanic. And I said, hey, how tough are these engines to work on? He's like, it's not that bad. And it helps that you have a friend that is a Mercedes-Benz master mechanic. And on the weekend, he just takes apart engines and rebuilds them.
But that is if this has an engine.
Yeah.
It does. The suspension would be sitting a lot higher if it didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Those had a ridiculous number of speakers in them, if I recall.
In the 600?
Yeah.
No, but this is really...
You're not going to be listening to them. There's no radio.
Well, there's
This is
that.
clearly this is a Lemons car. You're not going to build this up to drive on the road. This is something that I would get. I would bring my friend over, give him beer and pizza, and then we would
I love it.
give it ready for Lemons.
So
Now,
what was the original?
the
what was the
original
price?
was about $133,000 to $140,000.
Okay.
For based on inflation, that's $236,000. Now the price right now is $500, but if you reverse that inflation, if you sold this in 1997, it would cost $311.
This is a serious Jedi mind trick. Like, am I going to give you my money now or later?
But I mean, I can't imagine there has to be way more than $500 worth of parts on this car.
Yeah, just on the car, there has to be some parts on here. You could.
I mean, the wheels are more than $500.
Yeah, the
And
wheels
the
are
scrap value. The scrap value for 5,000 pounds of steel or 4,700 pounds of steel or whatever this thing weighs.
And look, these inner pipes are brand new. Look at that.
Yeah,
There's no exhaust gas flowing through those.
There's no exhaust coming through this. I would love to see. I would love to see who worked on this vehicle. Clearly, but I'm looking at their.
You should call them and like ask them if the power antenna still works.
If
Otherwise,
so,
you're not
I'm at the
buying
car
it.
next to
Yeah,
it.
like I don't know.
I feel like
They
this
won't
person-
know because it doesn't have a key.
Yeah. So this is definitely a car where you need to have a friend at Mercedes who will help you work on this vehicle.
I mean,
I've also
any
never
fish?
seen a headlight rust.
Are there any fish? No, there's a water line. There's like
There's
fish in the
water.
headlight.
The
I
water's
think
got
there's a goldfish in there.
Yeah.
I mean, how much would a key be for this car? The key is worth more than the vehicle.
We know
A
people.
couple hundred.
Yeah.
Again, this is why you have a friend, Mercedes-Benz master
Right.
mechanic. Like, hey, I need to get a key. Now,
I bet you if we look through the old car and driver key collection, there's probably a key we could use to reprogram for.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Boom. And it,
Because these are like the infrared keys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The half keys.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Roberto.
You're welcome. Remember, everybody.
It's a lovely car. A lovely Lemons car. And we'll kick it over to KC. Can you unshare, Roberto?
I am trying to. There we go. Up here.
There we go. All right, KC, what have you brought this week?
All right. I went, hold on a second.
Did you go Benz or did you go roller? That's the question.
Benz or roller? No,
Yeah.
I went down the same road as Bassam and found a Brooklands for 9 G's. This is a little later. I guess this is this guy. But the car is actually pretty clean, especially the interior.
Nice. The seats are really nice.
Yeah, like the door. It took me a while. I hate that airbag wheel.
Not a great airbag wheel. I think Jaguar had those too. Jaguar had that same wheel.
Yeah,
And
That has the four speed, which is nice.
yeah, the 4-speed. So yeah, the shifter moves down to the floor. But I was staring at this for a while. I was staring, and I was like, "What is in those map pockets?"
Is it a speaker?
No.
Oh, it's the footrest.
There we go. Yeah. It took me so. I was like, why are those things? Is the elastic just dead? But anyways, yeah. So those are the footrests. But yeah, it's a Brooklands. The guy, if you read that, he says it's a salvage per Carfax.
Having an issue keeping belts on.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, that just sounds like somebody put like the wrong alternator on it, or it's got.
Is that just the owner talking about his own personal weight problems?
I've got issues keeping belts on.
He says he's
I
had
gotta
enough.
take my
There's nothing like seller's dissatisfaction to move the buyer. I've had enough. I'm selling this.
So
what the Brooklands is the turbo engine?
No, so this is naturally aspirated, 6 3/4. We never tested one, but Ray Hutton did a little story on it, and we estimated it at 222 horsepower.
Okay.
It was definitely not quick, but it was opulent and lovely. And
so it's like the look of the Turbo R without the Turbo R's engine, right?
I think so, yeah. But this is also, this was also in the era when Bentley and Rolls-Royce were, one and the same. And so this is the same as a Silver Spirit.
So, it's not the Silver Spur?
No, I don't think so. I think it's, I looked it up earlier. What is it? It's the,
they were
Silver Spirit.
Yeah, the same car.
They're all basically the same. And, it's funny. A lot of people forget that when Volkswagen bought Bentley, they thought they were buying Rolls-Royce too. And there was that whole fiasco, and Roller ended up going to BMW, and, so yeah. But yeah, it's a cool Bentley, and the Brooklyns, like Ray, I didn't even know about this. That's why I mentioned it was a red badge, but the badge, the Bentley B, the color of the badge, none of the photos here show it, but the color of the badge, I guess that's a green badge there. That kind of depended on your level of performance.
Right? The Turbo's got at least in this era, the Turbo's got the red badge, right?
Yeah, the red label, green label, and stamp.
Blue. Yeah, it was blue, right?
What kind of camo is on that Suburban parked next to it?
I believe that is duck chic.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I can't even see the Suburban. I just see a tire.
Yeah, it's invisible.
Plasti dip wheel too.
I can't see it.
Casey, how much is this adjusted for inflation?
Adjusted for inflation is $284. So I don't think anybody's touching. Was it that S600 was, how much was it?
$500.
No, adjusted for inflation.
312.
Yeah, that's
36.
That's tough to beat.
All right, Casey, I'm up. Do you want to unshare? I went the Mercedes route, and I found something that cost $92,000 in January of 1984, which is
oh my god, that was so much money.
Well, so it's $234,000, but nothing like your guys' cars. You guys are like close to $300,000, but it is two.
That's cheating.
W126s. No, it's not. It's one listing.
It's logo.
Wait a minute. So you get two, so that double that.
Well,
so
no, it's two. And I did.
Combined.
The original price is around $46,000 for each of these when they were new. So double it, it's 96 or 94 or whatever I put there. But yeah, this guy, he had one and he bought another one as a parts car. And then he had some sad health problems, which were probably
they have names.
What's that?
Diamond and Pearl.
Yes.
You're going to be a happy boy or a girl if you buy this.
Is this in Minneapolis by any chance?
You didn't come with a pole.
He's a big Prince fan, apparently. And Diamond and Pearl. Pearl was the one that he wanted to keep running, and Diamond was the parts car that has nearly killed this poor guy. But there's a rant about the DMV screwing him over on the title. There's just a bunch of craziness. But there you go. There's two W126s.
Are they both they're both 380s?
They're both 380 SEs. They're identical, and they're the same model year as well. But you can do this.
Yes.
Coming to America.
That's brilliant.
You can make up your own flag and put it on the. Look at that.
Except
I thought only Maserati B Turbo owners had an extra spare parts car laying around for.
There you go.
Surprising.
I tried to find one of those, Bassam, and there's like one in a field that's all rust. Otherwise,
stay away. I've heard so many horror stories.
I think I found the same one. Like,
yeah. There was a red by Turbo in a field somewhere, like in North Carolina.
Oh.
It was it was like finding like a T-Rex tailbone, and you're like, I'm gonna put the rest of the car together from this.
You're like,
exactly.
You're like looking for more. You're like, there's more somewhere around here.
Exactly.
All right. Now we come to the part of the show where we judge each other's picks. So who went first? Jonathan, you went first. You're over budget, unfortunately, but you have probably the nicest example. So I'm gonna give you a sideways.
Yeah, sideways.
I'll give you an up just for that sigh. That was a great audio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Basim, what do you think about Jonathan's car? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
So up, down, or sideways?
Yeah,
I'm a little biased. I mean, look at my car choice. I mean, I got to support my fellow idiots and say like thumbs up on the car.
Well,
although he broke the rules. I mean, come on.
Right. That's why I gave him the sideways. All right.
Yeah.
Who went next? Basim, you went next with the $6,900 Turbo R. I'm giving that a solid.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And it ran, right?
Yes. Miraculously.
Yeah, a lot of miles, but it ran. All right.
You should try to find the actual Ridley Scott Turbo R.
Oh, holy grail. Yes. That would be magic.
All right, Roberto, that beautiful Lemons car. I got to give it a thumbs up for $500.
$500. Yeah.
How's Jonathan? Oh, Jonathan! Right.
Jonathan's the king of the $500 car.
The no key just lost me.
No key.
I like the idea of it, but the no key is so scary.
Basim's the voice of reason. I respect that. And it might not even be a V12, as you pointed out, Basim. There's no shot.
It's a V1, duh. Read the fine print.
It's just a 600 single.
KC's Brooklyn's.
I gotta give that a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. That was a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Despite the
Me
non-turbo.
likey.
All right. And then my pair of Benzes so that you can recreate the scene of the King of Zamunda arriving to Queens.
You got to tow your parts car, so you can't.
Well, eventually you could recreate that scene.
Bring two trailers.
Daisy chain them together.
I would say just for named cars for $3,500. Like,
I'm giving a thumbs up just
do
because it's two.
You know, the fun thing to do
two is greater than one, so
that's right.
Is do the chain race? Is that what they're called? When the lead car has an engine and the rear car has brakes,
and they
just chain together, and you do like an oval race with them.
I could do that.
That'd be fun. I'd be your brake man.
Aww.
Coming out of light, Chewy.
All right, that brings us to the end of the episode. And thanks for joining us, Basim. Thanks for joining us, guys. And subscribe and like, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.